So you have Parkinson's, but nobody really understands you, and or you're a care partner and you've given everything you have to someone with Parkinson's and there's nothing left for you. Do you feel lost? I'm Jo Rosen, president of Parkinson's Resource Organization, and I'm bringing to you again today things to know right now. Dr. Lynda Reid is a gemstone who is here to help us help you, and she is here to help you. And just to let you know that she's been doing this for a while, she happens to be the author of the Little Book of More. We'll explain to you what that is. She is a keynote speaker. She's a TED Talk speaker, and she's a leader, a life coach, and she is one of our wellness villagers, which we are so proud and pleased to have her there. Welcome, Dr. Lynda Reid. Thank you for taking your time to join us today. Is there anything you'd like to say more about you to our audience?
Well, first, Jo, thank you for having me. I am honored to be part of your Wellness Village and look forward to providing support to care partners and people with Parkinson's and helping them, take that next step forward. In terms of myself, I just want people to know, well, I don't have direct experience with Parkinson's. I am a daughter of my father had MS for over half his life. My husband has gone through 2 severe cancers. He's currently still now in immunotherapy. All his food is through a G-tube. So I get, being a care partner, especially in these scary times right now, and all the other layers that are going on. I've lived through disasters. I've coached people through hurricanes, wildfires, and now COVID-19. So I hope and believe that I have things to help others as well.
And I know that you do. And so COVID-19, if we can address it, has brought some very good things, but it's also brought some not so very good things. The longer that we stay in here, we know that we have to start thinking about coming out on the other side, and what does that look like? And how can you help on that coming out to look at the other side? What seems to be, people feel very isolated right now and they're anxious, etc. What might you tell us about that?
We have an innate need for belonging. Every person does. And so isolation gives us a sense of, triggers our fear mechanism in our brains. And so it's finding ways to quiet that and to find ways to belong still. And while belonging might be virtually, it might be 6 feet away, virtual hugs, connection is important. So finding ways to stay connected with the people that care about you, the people that feed your soul and give you energy, not drag you down. You don't need any more of those. So it's, where can you find those and how you can connect? And please, please don't assume people know what you need. You need to ask for what you need. And one way of getting is to also give, because there's a giving receiving cycle. And in order to receive, we also need to give, and vice versa. So, I've done a lot about sending cards out to people as thank yous, because we keep getting cards back. And so while we can't be face to face, and even after, as we come out of this, those of us that have compromised immune systems and are concerned about have more complicated health issues still need to be protected and cautious until there's a vaccine.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm going to go back into isolation just a little bit more, because people with Parkinson's have a tendency to be insular as well as isolated. Isolation, as we know, it increases depression and anxiety. Paranoia comes into play here, panic attacks, but it also increases low energy and tiredness. And so we hear a lot of people with Parkinson's concerned about, they're just exhausted all the time. Where does one start with, again, we kind of covered isolation, but where would we start with, how do we come out of that? Being on purpose would be my way, but tell us what you think in that area.
I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like when we get to my little book of more, the M stands for meaning, and creating meaning in our lives through our belonging, through our passions, through our purpose, and through those things that have caused us loss and created crisis in our lives are also avenues. So how can you use your Parkinson's and these times to learn more about yourself and to give more to yourself and those around you?
Yeah, I think people with Parkinson's sometimes have a tendency to think it's done. We're done. Can't go anymore. We're always looking for volunteers, for instance, in the organization, and we would love to have more people with Parkinson's volunteering because it gives them a sense of purpose. We are being helped, and together it's a great team for the world because we're constantly teaching the world. They have things that they can share that they otherwise wouldn't share if they're just sitting at home feeling isolated and insecure. Now let's jump over to the care partner. So the care partner, and maybe you're there, maybe not. I'm thinking not so much. And then we are the shoemaker's daughters, so we sometimes know that. But as a care partner, you've given everything you have to this person that you love so much that you've really gotten lost. Now you're feeling lost. How do you work out of that? How are you looking for the future? What are you doing? Just you're inundated.
So part of it is owning your own worth as a care partner. Part of it is knowing that there is also more to you than just being that care partner to the other person. Because if you don't give back to yourself and find avenues that enrich you personally, you won't be there for that care partner long term. So you need to tap into those things that give you passion, those things that give you purpose, and own your worth and potential and find those steps for moving forward.
We say that all the time in our support groups, and we'll address that in a second, but it's the care partner is an integral role in this equation. Without the care partner, the person with Parkinson's really is in deep doo-doo. And so we really want to make sure that everybody stays whole, and that means that it is not a selfish act for the care partner to take care of him or herself first before they take care. It's like getting on an airplane and putting your mask on before you put on help someone else. It's so that you stay alive so that you can help that someone else. Support groups. What do you think about that for people with Parkinson's or the care partner?
I think support groups are important to, they give people a sense of knowing they're not in this alone. They give a connection. There's all kinds of different support groups. So it's finding that group that speaks to you and feeds you energy and builds you up, not keeps you stuck. There are groups that can keep people all in their stuff and in their stuckness. And there's opportunities. You want to find those places that lift you up, that give you information, that move you forward. And you leave with a sense of, that was really good today.
And as a facilitator, I must say, I love when the groups leave like that because they come in with their shoulders way up here. They're so uptight. By the time they leave, they're really relaxed and they're happy. And it warms my heart. Tell us a little bit about the Little Book of More.
So my Little Book of More, The Evolution of You is the full title, and MORE is an acronym for meaning, owning, relationships, and emotions. So it's through focusing on and fostering those 4 elements in our lives, we keep moving forward and keep fulfilling and expanding our potential. So that meaning is about belonging. It's about passion, purpose, and using loss as an opportunity for moving us forward. Owning is about owning your worth, owning your failures, owning your piece in making you who you're meant to be. Relationships, it's all about, and it's so important with people with Parkinson's or with other long-term diseases, is to create relationships and foster relationships that feed you positive energy, build you up, not keep you stuck. And also within that is the E of emotions, and emotions is critical in honoring all of our emotions, understanding that they all are important to be spoken, and find ways to honor how you're feeling and to respect in a respectful way that honors others. Emotions are our body's immediate response to an outside stimulus. That message gets sent to our brain, and our brain chooses our feelings. So there's a difference between emotions and feelings, and it's in that moment, in that fraction of a second, that we can choose our response. And we can choose a different response. A lot of us, our brains are like following donkey trails and problem solving the same way, and we respond in the same way. So try responding in a completely different way to an ongoing stimulus, and you'll be surprised what opens up for you.
And I have not had the opportunity yet to read that book. I can't wait for the weekend to hunker down and do just that. So you're a life coach. Someone wants to reach out to you. How do they come to you? I mean, they're going to come to you through the Wellness Village. We know that, but how do they address you? What do they bring with them if they need to interact with you?
Themselves. My coaching's all about the client. And a lot of times people will say, okay, I want coaching because I want this. What I do is I believe that we're all holistic beings. And if you are working, then work has to be part of your goals. I like working with people over a 12-session weekly series because it takes 3 months of continuous positive reinforcement to create a new habit. So I like developing those. What we do, like initially, is we do a brain dump. What's all the things going on in your life? What isn't going on that you want? And then we group those and we create 3 goals to focus on. And then through those goals, we use questioning and other coaching strategies to stretch people's thinking, to create new insights, those insights like you get when you're washing your hair in the shower and you go, oh yeah, and then you get out and dry off and you forget them. Yeah. Well, coaching's all about capturing those insights and creating little actions that then hold you accountable for making those steps for moving yourself forward.
I love it. I can say that we've been working with coaches throughout not just in the Wellness Village, but in the Parkinson's community. And as I facilitate support groups, et cetera, I'm constantly thinking about the people in that group and what might move them forward in a very positive way. The results of the people working with coaches is always phenomenal. I've watched caregivers blossom and just be a much better caregiver because they've got their map set out for them. I've watched people with Parkinson's turn themselves from a couch potato into an active and thoughtful and newly energized person. So I happen to be one of the biggest believers in what a coach can do for a person. So I'm happy that you're in the Wellness Village with us. Is there anything else you might want to add? We have a second and a half.
Just quickly, there's a lot of different coaches, and there's coaching certification. So, do your research on what people's backgrounds are, where they're certified. For example, I'm with the International Coach Federation. You can go on their website and find coaches that are in your areas as well as your Wellness Village, and just find the person that speaks to you.
And you also have you've got an educational background. I didn't allude to that in the beginning, but you've got some initials behind your name. What do all those stand for?
I also have an educational doctorate that focused on multicultural leadership. So it's based on my global experience growing up in Canada, living in the Caribbean, coming to the US, taking secondary education students to China, and the importance of us all understanding how our different cultural makeups can expand and enrich all of us.
I just want to thank you so much for being here. To our audience today, I want to say, watch the newsletters, watch Dr. Lynda's articles in the newsletters, watch when she's going to participate in our village meetings, which are now our virtual meetings, which are our speaker meetings, our educational meetings. And this is Parkinson's Awareness Month, so we're doing all sorts of things, including we just did a show of force, so pay attention to what that is, because we're giving you snippets of all of the Wellness Villagers in the show of force. And if you need a life coach and if you're stuck in any way, shape, or form, I highly suggest that you get to the Wellness Village. Look at our coaches there. Dr. Lynda is available through the Wellness Village. And Dr. Lynda, I just want to thank you so much for participating with us this morning, and for giving to our community what they probably didn't know they needed.
Thank you. I'm honored.